coming up.
Let me show you that his script that he learnt in a mosque contradicts his own book, because his God speaking to me and to Christians says this: let the people of the gospel judge by what Allah hath revealed therein.
The Quran tells Christians to follow the gospel, but Muslim debaters say the Bible is corrupted. In this intense exchange, Christian apologist Bob dismantles a scripted argument used by many in the Dawah scene by turning to the Quran itself. From Surah 350 to Surah 547, Bob uses the Muslim speaker's own book to highlight contradictions in his reasoning, especially around Jesus making the forbidden lawful and the authority of the Gospels. The Muslim speaker struggles to respond without veering into conspiracy or confusion, bringing up the Gospel of Barnabas, which Bob exposes as a historical fraud. This isn't just a debate, it's a wake-up call to both Christians and Muslims to study the texts they claim to believe. If you've ever wondered whether the Bible was truly changed, or how Christians can defend their scriptures using the Quran itself, don't miss this video. The logic is sharp, the challenges are real, and by the end, Islam is completely destroyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this that reveal the truth about Jesus.
Let me show you that his script that he learnt in a mosque contradicts his own book, because his God speaking to me and to Christians says this: let the people of the gospel judge by what Allah hath revealed therein. So Allah is commanding Christians to follow the gospel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he's talking to the people of the book. Who were the people of the book? Jews and Christians. What did they identify as the gospel? What I have in my bag. That's what they identified as the gospel. His script has no evidence, and he's running from the argument. I've asked him 3 times, tell me what the original Injil was. Where can I find it? How can I read it? Because if you're going to say that the Injil has been changed, you need the original to show me where it's been changed. And if you don't have the original, you can't make the claim. Also, because you're just repeating a script, you haven't listened to what I have said. I didn't say Christians became before Jesus. I said they came before the Bible, the New Testament, and that is true. Your ignorance of my religion is your problem. You embody exactly the ignorance that I'm talking about.
A bigger problem.
Ready?
Yep.
Number 1.
All right, starting.
Go ahead. He pointed out that Jesus made forbidden things allowed for the Jews.
That's what your Quran says.
And that's what my Quran says.
Yes, it does.
And this is true.
Ah, so it's not a problem then.
That
So why was there a problem when Jesus did it in the Bible?
the Jews were not allowed to use.
Why was there a problem when Jesus did it in the Bible?
The Jews were not allowed. Well done. The Jews were not allowed to use the fat of the lamb.
No, why was there a problem when Jesus did it in the Bible?
They were not allowed to use.
Why was there a problem when Jesus did it in the Bible, but it's okay when the Quran did it?
Before they eat pork, Jesus never allowed the pork to be eaten.
Where's your proof?
They never said that you eat the pork.
How do you know? How do you know?
As it has been.
Where does the Quran list it? Where does the Quran list it?
And now,
You weren't saying that when he was interrupting me.
I asked this man
Why the double standard?
very simple question.
Why the double standard?
The very simple question.
Who's the first
which
and the
he
last?
ran away from.
Who's the first
He
and the
ran
last?
away from the argument.
Who's the first and the last?
That where
Who's the
does
first and the
God
last?
I am God worship in Bible?
Where does Isa say he is the Messiah in the Quran? Where does Isa say he is the Messiah in the Quran?
When I asked him for the fish,
Where does Isa say he is the Messiah in the Quran? Where does Isa say that he is the Messiah in the Quran? Where does Isa say he is the Messiah in the Quran? Where does Isa say he is the Messiah in the Quran?
What kind of?
Where does Isa say he is the Messiah in the Quran?
The Quran is not the word of Jesus.
Where does Isa say he is the Messiah in the Quran?
Say.
Why can't you answer my question? Why can't you answer my question? Why can't you answer my question? Don't push into me. Why can't you answer my question? Who's the first and the last in the Quran? Who is the first and the last in the Quran? Allah is the first and the last in the Quran. Who is the first and the last in the Bible? Jesus Christ.
Want to accept
Okay, this debate's over.
Bible is
I'll heckle him for another 1 minute 50. Whatever.
The Bible is contaminated.
So you can't answer my question. So you can't answer my question. Here's the number of questions you didn't answer. Where does Isa say he is the Messiah in the Quran? You didn't answer that. Who is the first and the last in the Quran? You didn't answer that. Where is the original Injil? You didn't answer that. All you have is an ignorant script given to you by ignorant men. If you are a seeker after truth, you owe it to yourself to be consistent in your arguments. And you can't be consistent in your arguments. You can't be consistent in your arguments because your script is broken. I'm the Christian here. You are not the Christian. Do you know what a Christian is? What's a Christian? What's a Christian? What's a Christian? What's a Christian? What's in the right? Brilliant. Right. People that believe in the Christ are Christians. Agreed? Right. And Christ brought an Injil, didn't he? Who did he bring it to?
To the people.
Which people? Which people?
To the people of Israel.
Israel, right. So Christ brings a new revelation to the Jews, doesn't he? So that means the Jews now have to follow Jesus, correct? And who does the Quran say are Christians?
Sorry.
Who does the Quran say are Christians?
Nasrani, yes.
Who are they?
Nasrani are the followers of the Jesus.
Yes, and they're Jewish, right? So if the followers of Jesus are Jewish Christians, who are the Jews?
The followers of Abraham.
The followers of Abraham. So is the Quran
Moses, David,
so is the
Solomon,
Quran saying that you can ignore the next prophet to follow the last one?
Now can I answer that?
Yeah, I would like to hear that answer.
What happened is that at the time of Jesus, when the Jesus came with the revelation, well, not with the revelation, with the miraculous birth, and the Jews, the Bani Israel, were behaving very badly. They were indulging themselves into adultery very badly. I don't know if you know this. They were involved into usury, riba,
Just
the
asking.
interest.
No, that's not answering my question.
1 minute. So Jesus came as a messenger to correct those people,
To the Jews, who then became Christians.
who then some of them did become Christian. Yes.
So at that time, that's the revelation to follow, right?
That was the revelation to follow.
So
for
the Jews that refuse to follow Jesus,
Yes.
they are no
They're
longer, they're infidel. So why does he call them people of the book?
Okay, what God is referring to,
Yeah.
that the people of the book who believe in one Lord,
Right?
the people who believe in one Lord,
Yeah?
this is what it's referring to.
Right, so now let's actually look at what your Quran says. Because this is the problem, bro. When you just come here to repeat a script and you don't...
This is what it is. You're getting it wrong here.
No, let me show you. Let me
You're
show
getting
you.
it wrong here
You
first.
don't even know what I'm trying to show you.
I know what you're going to show
What
me.
am I going to show you? Because I'm going to show you wrong.
There's two things have been mentioned in Quran. The people of the book, and then the people of the book have been cursed for disobeying
That
their
was
own
not what I
books.
was going to show you.
Okay, go on then.
You see, you jump into conclusions again.
Go on then.
You see, if you're more humble, you'll learn more. Not just about Christianity, but even maybe about your own Quran.
That's why the whole Christians have left the churches.
So-
the churches are being sold. They're left abandoned.
They're abandoning
Everything.
Sharia
Where-
law in North Sudan. They're abandoning Sharia law in Iran. They fled from Sharia law in Afghanistan. Like, Afghanis don't want to live under Sharia. They're running away from the Taliban. In Indonesia, Christianity is the fastest growing religion. In Iran, the fastest growing religion is Christianity. So please, we can all pull out silly arguments like this.
Listen, I don't know what you're talking about. How many people you see
No,
in
no,
the
no,
churches
no.
over here?
No.
No, you have just tell a lie.
So what?
Are people
Brother,
Christians running away or not? While you're looking, keep talking.
Brother, the reality is you don't go to enough churches. All you see is what the BBC want you to see.
All the refugee
And the
Africans
BBC
out there, trust me, if there's no Africans in this country, your churches will turn into nurseries and
There's
nightclubs.
definitely problems.
How many of them are?
There is definitely problems. Yes.
Why is that? It's because of the
Do
hypocrisy.
you understand Turkish mosques
Because
are
of
empty?
no, they're not. I
Yes,
just
they
came
are.
from Istanbul
Yes, they are.
after Kemal Atatürk.
So, come and look, right? This is what your Quran says, right? To thee, firstly, let's look at this verse.
Which one is this?
Right? This is Surah 5, Ayah 47. Okay?
Let me take it out as well.
Yeah.
Just in case. Surah 5, ayah number?
Starting at 47, but we're not finishing yet.
Wake up! They adopt a your pathetic.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Brother, you're asking a lot there. You're asking a lot with this guy. Right, listen. So it says, let the people of the gospel judge by what Allah hath revealed. Right. Firstly, this was revealed in the 7th century. Allah is talking to the people of the book, and he's telling them to judge by the gospel. That means the people of the book who are Christians, what do they identify? In the what did they identify as the gospel? Try to reason now. What did they identify as the gospel?
The arrival of the prophet. The
No,
Messiah,
that's a lie. You're lying. That's a lie.
in the Bible.
No, that's a lie. What they identified as, what do they identify as the
Give me the
Injil?
reference for
What they
the
identify as the
arrival of
Injil?
the Prophet Muhammad in the Bible. Find me the. I do have it written down.
So,
in my book. I
well,
didn't bring it with me.
you come back
One
to that
minute.
verse.
I've only come to the park today to see you, Bob. Sorry about that.
Maybe.
You're truly blessed.
Thank you.
Please carry on doing God's work, Bob.
I will try my
You
best.
are truly
All right.
blessed. Take care.
God bless. God bless, brother. Yeah.
God bless.
So,
God bless.
why you shouldn't talk with your mouth full. Right. So, guys, right? Look at this and try to reason with me. Allah is talking in the 7th century to a people who are Christians to judge by the gospel, right? Those people identified what I have in my bag as that gospel, okay? That means that Allah is telling them to live and believe by what I have in my bag. Now show me why I'm wrong.
This Bible, you have God.
No, show me why I'm wrong from this verse. I'm not wrong, thank you. Brilliant. So that means...
From the gospel at the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him,
And what was that?
the gospel, whatever the gospels were there.
See, you don't know,
No,
do you?
one minute.
You don't know, do you? You don't know, but I do. Go on.
The gospel at the time of Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
Yeah.
it was a different gospel.
Prove it.
Okay, number one.
Prove it.
Number two,
No. You've made it. You've just told a lie. You've just told an absolute lie. And you're repeating a lie that you have been told that you have never once checked. But the difference between me and you is that I have checked. We have the Gospels from the 7th centuries. They're in museums around the world. We have their names. They are in lists. You can find them yourself, and then you can go and read them yourself. You can go and there's hundreds of manuscripts, hundreds. And what do they teach? Wait, one second.
I'm telling you.
No, wait, 1 second. You're again repeating a lie. And the problem is you think that because I have studied that I'm just going to believe your lie. But the reality is I know you're making things up because I've actually gone away and looked. When you look at the 7th century manuscripts of the Bible in the Syriac, which is what they were reading in the Middle East, it matches what I have in my bag.